Good evening. This is Mr. Glenn. Really appreciate your time for checking out this video. And hopefully the information that you received today is very valuable to you. And if there's any questions or comments, please feel free to talk to me in the comment section. Today, we're going to continue to discuss factoring trinomials. Now, as you can see, this is a trinomial. Do you remember what that is? All right, so I guess I didn't have to take a pause because you could have took a pause, right? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to break this particular trinomial down. A trinomial, once again, is there are terms that's being added or subtracted together. And you've been working on polynomials, if you will, since you were, a little kid, like in grade school, like kindergarten, first grade, when you began to add and subtract. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. And so at any point in time in the video, if you need to pause and rewind, please do. And don't go to another step if you don't understand the previous step. So don't go further if you don't understand what I just said. So what you want to do is rewind it, okay, and then rewrite what I said. All right. And so I'm not going to be writing in words, but you should be writing in words what is taking place. All right, so here we go. So the first thing that I want to do, I want to look and see, are there any common factors? So I'm looking at the first term, I'm looking at the second term, which is in this case the middle term, and the third term. And in those terms, I'm looking to see, do they have anything in common? So I look at 4, 12, and 40. The greatest common factor between 4, 12, and 40, yes, it is a negative 12 and a negative 40, but we'll get to that in a moment. We're going to reduce by 4 because that is the greatest common factor, is 4. Then we're going to look at the variables and we see which one is the greatest common factor. Remember, the greatest common factor when it pertains to variables and exponents is whichever it's whatever the smallest exponent is what we're going to be able to reduce out. So we're going to reduce out 4n. What we're left with is n to the third, negative 12 divided by 4. Not 12 divided by 4, but negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. N squared divided by n to the first, right, is 3n. Now, let me back on up because I did mess up right here, right? It shouldn't have been n to the third, because if I do 4n times n to the third, it's going to give me 4n to the fourth. So that wouldn't be accurate. So it is 3 minus 1, which is 2. All right. So I make that correction right there. All right. So I'm going to move on to my next step. My next step is to subtract, I'm sorry, not subtract, but to divide negative 40, n, divided by 4n. But I don't do that all at once. I take the first part of the term, the coefficient, and I do negative 40 divided by 4, which is negative 10. And n divided by n is what? 1. So you won't see that 1. Okay? So now we're going to break down the trinomial even further, or at least see if it can be broken down, because there are some trinomials that will be considered prime that cannot be broken down, meaning they do not have factors at all, okay? And I can't forget about this 4n. So once again, remember we talked about that we have to find the factors of negative 10. So negative 10, and then the middle term has to add up to be negative 3. So let's see what we got. We got 1 and negative 10. That's going to equal what? Negative 9, if we were to add it together. Then we have 2 and negative 5, which would equal negative 3. Now, if I try to look at negative 2 and positive 5, it multiplies to give me negative 10, but it doesn't add to, it adds together and give me 3. So I have to make sure that I am aware of my factors, okay? The correct factors. So I have 4n times, right? I'm using this one, n positive 2 plus 2, because it's a positive 2, times n minus 5. Right? And I can double check it. There's my 2n. And here is my negative 5n. And that gives me negative 3n. So my answer is correct. And yes, this was a shorter video than the previous, but I think it's pretty important for you to just have this part of the information as far as factoring trinomials as one video, and then you can rewind it as much as you need to, and it won't take as long to probably understand the information, hopefully, right? And once again, if you have questions, please feel free to, email me. My email will be in the description, or just make a comment and I can get right back with you. And so I really want to say thank you for your time, for taking the opportunity to watch the video, and thank you to all those that have subscribed. And once we build momentum, I'm going to be doing some pretty cool things for the subscribers. So once again, thanks for tuning in to Mr. Glenn. All right. And so if you have better ideas on how my intro should be, my outro should be, you can also comment on that in the box down below. So thank you so much and have a great day. All right. Bye.